So, we are back. We are back. We are live. I think it's working. Let me make sure. Let me go on and make sure it's working. Well, let's be real. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it's working. Okay. I just want to make sure that it's up and working. And it is. So, Serena. Okay. I think I fixed stream delay. Maybe not. Did I? Because it is still way longer than. I don't know. I can't tell if it's fixed or not, but I think it's close enough, right? Technically. So, we're back. And hopefully, everything continues to run smooth. It should. We're just gonna make sure. Because. Oh my gosh. Why is it so loud? Okay. So, it's gonna react to some stuff. This is what we reacted to this channel yesterday. And we're gonna probably do a little bit more with this channel, but I do have some other channels to watch too. So we're gonna start. I guess this one looks pretty interesting.
I'm being told this is Limu Emu from Liberty Mutual, who helps save you hundreds by customizing your car insurance. And his partner, Doug.
Okay, hold up. Fix everything. Yeah, it's delayed like crazy. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it's still delayed. I fixed delay. So I don't know why it's still insanely delayed. So it still looks like there's like maybe a 10-15 second delay on it. Maybe we're still at 20-second delay. I have no idea. It's just weird that it's still happening. Dude, my pockets have so much stuff in them. It's insane. So, okay. We are reacting to YouTubers who disappeared. Oh, not what I was going to do. YouTubers who disappeared without a trace. I haven't seen this, so let's just go.
I've been warned by like federal agencies and like district attorneys and stuff that like don't do this or we'll come and get you.
The investigators had found one of his boots,
Yes.
his pants,
Yep.
his knife sleeve, and they found one other thing.
But his keys and wallet are missing.
Yeah, they're gone.
I don't really know, like, what would happen if somebody did try to come here and kidnap me, right?
One day, a YouTuber is posting videos. The next day, they disappeared without saying goodbye. But what if they didn't leave by choice? What if something bad actually happened? Today, we're looking at YouTubers who vanished without a trace, ranked from least to most disturbing. So I do want to mention that some people I talk about still have not been found. So my prayers go out to the family.
Some haven't been found. Ooh, juicy. So there is some people that haven't been found yet. Haven't watched this either, but then again, I haven't seen this channel before. It's a really good channel, and they do a really good job with like the editing and stuff. They go really in depth on stuff.
Families of these people, and I hope that one day they find their way back home. Alana G. Alana G made videos about people who vanished. Then one day, she vanished too. Alana's YouTube channel was called Paranormalana. That's a mix of the word paranormal and her name, Alana. She told stories about unsolved cases, strange legends, and real-life horror. If it was creepy, Alana covered it. By mid-2015, Alana's channel was taking off. She had about 50,000 subscribers and was getting more each day. She even launched a new series, Vampires Over History. But she never got to finish it, because that's when Alana realized she was in danger. In late 2015, Alana realized she had a stalker. They probably found her through her YouTube channel, but this wasn't just some random troll in the comments. The stalker went beyond YouTube and found her Facebook page, and that's when she warned her fans. Alana tweeted, "Had a pretty scary stalking incident, so unfortunately I'm having to change the way I run my social media. No more Facebook." She also explained the seriousness of the situation. She said the stalker sent her a violent death.
Hold up, there's a giant hair on the computer. Got it. Okay, sorry, that was just driving me nuts. There was a giant hair on the screen.
But if she was scared, she didn't show it, because her last tweet was a warning directed at the stalker. It said, "My uncle is a cop. The other two are criminal lawyers. Violently threatening me online will always turn out badly for you." It was a bold move. She hoped it would work. But after that, Alana vanished from the internet. On September 3rd, 2015, Alana deleted her YouTube channel with over 50,000 subscribers. Her Facebook page also vanished. Her Twitter account disappeared. Her Instagram went offline. Even her vlogging channel was erased. It all disappeared in a single day. But what made it stranger was the timing. Just days earlier, Alana was planning new videos with other YouTubers.
Just a few weeks before her disappearance, Alana and I were discussing a collaboration video. I've openly mentioned this to a number of people, so the community seems to think I have answers, and sadly, I do not.
So what changed? Why would someone who was growing fast suddenly delete everything? People had theories. Some believed the stalker scared her offline. Others feared something worse. All anyone knows is she never came back. Alana vanished without a trace. This next case is about a YouTuber who took too many risks.
Okay, but yeah, I can pause it whenever. It does work a lot better, I'll tell you that much. I just like doing these too. These are really fun. Was that one of the people that wasn't found, is what I want to know. And what was it, Anala? Was it Anala? Alana. Close enough. Alana G. Missing? Is that what I would type for that? Ooh. Huh? Alana G. We are. Hey, no, she hasn't been found yet. Dude. So she's still missing. Dang. Crazy.
Nicholas Sonderegger.
With
No,
Google Play
Ed.
Games, you can play unlocked. Unlock rewards with Google Play Points.
Oh.
So the more you
Nicholas Sonderegger was only 28 when he vanished, but the most tragic part wasn't his age. It was how weird everything was the night he disappeared. Nothing made sense, not to the cops, his friends, or even his family. So what happened? Nicholas Sonderegger loved to dance. So much so, he started a YouTube channel to share it with the world. He called his channel Sunspike. What made it stand out was how Nick turned everyday places into dance floors. Rooftops, sidewalks, riverbanks, it didn't matter. Nick danced everywhere. He even made a video called Dancing with Cows. By 2017, 2017, Nick posted 79 videos. He had less than 3,000 subscribers, but they loved him. Nick looked carefree when he danced on camera, but off camera, his life was starting to unravel. Around 2017, Nick lived in San Diego with his best friend Austin. Although they had big dreams, they had almost no money. Then they got evicted from their San Diego home, but instead of giving up, they made a bold move. They packed up and moved to one of the strangest places in California, the Salton Sea. It's a place many call a toxic nightmare. People abandoned the area because the air was contaminated with dust and gas that caused health problems. By the time Nick and Austin arrived, it was nearly abandoned, filled with old trailers, broken buildings, and silence. They didn't rent a place to sleep nearby. They just slept in tents or stayed in whatever old trailer they could find. But Nick never gave up on dancing. He even discovered an abandoned compound and wanted to turn it into a space for dancers. And then tragedy struck. It was around 2 a.m., September 7th, 2018. Nick and Austin were inside their tent in Salton Sea trying to get some sleep. Then they heard a scream.
They were hanging out and doing whatever they were doing, and they heard a scream that sounded like it was coming from the other side of town, which this is a really tiny town.
The Salton Sea wasn't exactly safe at night, but since they both heard the scream, they talked about what to do. Maybe someone needed help. Austin suggested they stay put. Nick agreed. At least, Austin thought Nick agreed. Austin turned around and went to sleep. He didn't know it would be the last time he ever saw Nick. When Austin woke up the next morning, he was alone in the tent. Nick was gone. He searched everywhere. Then, just a block from their camp, he found Nick's flashlight lying in the dirt. Austin called the police immediately. Officers searched the shoreline. What they found only made things more confusing.
The investigators had found one of his boots,
Yes.
his pants,
Yep.
his knife sleeve, and they found one other thing.
But his keys and wallet are missing.
Yeah, they're gone.
In other words, Nick's belongings were scattered in different spots. Not in a pile, just spread out. And then there was the boot. Why was only one boot found? Where was the other one? A few days later, on September 12th, a missing person report was filed. And then things got even weirder. A few days after Nick vanished, Austin returned to an area he already searched. But this time, something new was there. Nick's shirt and hat were just lying on the ground.
Nick's stuff was found, his hat.
Plot twist. We got a plot twist. Wow.
Was found. I think I see the trees like right there.
Austin was sure the items weren't there before. That made him wonder if someone placed them there after the search. But who and why? A $10,000 reward was offered for any information about Nick, but no one came forward. But his family didn't give up. 5 months later, in February 2019, a search party combed the area. They found no new clues and no sign of Nick. To this day, Nicholas Sonderegger is still missing. He simply walked into the night and vanished. The next YouTubers went somewhere.
He's still missing. Like, how old is this video? 5 months ago. Should we look? Should we register that? I think we're gonna register that. His name is definitely something. Oh, he is still missing. We got a yes. We have a confirmation that he is still gone. He's got to be over there somewhere, right? Right? I mean, he's hiding. Bro's probably just hiding.
They shouldn't have, and that was the beginning of the end. Mac Adventures. Joe and Garrett were more than just YouTubers. They were father and son, and they were adventurers. Their channel, called Mac Adventures, started back in 2006. In their About section, they wrote, "We travel, vlog, blog, podcast, and travel some more." They rode motorcycles across the US, visiting places most people never see.
We did change the delay to 1. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it a little bit more. Because it's only at 3, and it's more than 3-second delay. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna look at it after stream. I can't change it since I'm live already. But I'm gonna really look at it tonight, because I thought I fixed it. It's definitely less of a delay, but it is still delayed. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to fix that for tomorrow's probably. At least it's better than yesterday. Yesterday it had like a 25-second delay or something like that. It was insane.
First road trip ever. Father and son on, I got a Buell, he's got an Intruder. We're gonna go cruising.
It wasn't anything too dangerous though, just genuine father-son adventures. But the fun stopped when they visited one of the most secretive places in America, Area 51.
Oh,
After that
no.
trip, things were never the same. Area 51 is a top secret military base in Nevada. It's so mysterious that some people believe extraterrestrial aliens are being held there. But Joe and Garrett didn't just go near Area 51, they filmed it.
Okay, here we are, Area 51, back gate. There's dudes in that building right there. They just can't see. Look at the camera looking at us. This camera moved over here.
When they posted the Area 51 video, it blew up. It got more views than any other trip they shared. Their audience wanted more, so they went back again and again. Each time they got bolder. They crossed warning signs. They entered restricted zones. They took pictures of things they weren't supposed to. Soon, they had a series of videos about Area 51. Each time they returned, Joe and Garrett pushed deeper into the restricted zone. They thought they could keep doing it without getting caught. They thought wrong.
Why in the middle of a case?
In early 2017, Joe and Garrett posted their most intense video yet. It was titled Held at Gunpoint by Camo Dudes. This time, they went too deep into Area 51. Armed guards surrounded them with their guns drawn. Joe and Garrett were searched. Luckily, they were not arrested. They were just ordered to leave.
Listen, we're gonna give you guys a chance, okay? Get on your bikes.
The video ended with Joe and Garrett riding away, but the mood was different. It didn't feel like a fun adventure anymore. It felt like real danger. Not long after that video, Mac Adventures went completely silent. They stopped posting on YouTube. They stopped replying to fan messages. Their other social media accounts went dormant. Other YouTubers started talking about it, calling it the case of YouTubers who disappeared after being held at Area 51. Some believed they were warned to stop filming. Others thought they were secretly arrested. Years passed with no updates. Then 3 years later, they reappeared. Garrett posted a short video called The Pops and I Are Alive. He wanted to reassure subscribers that they were okay. But after that video, they vanished again. And it's been 5 years since they made a YouTube video. This next case involves an investigation for murder. Kyle Myers. Kyle Myers launched FPS Russia in 2010, and his videos were hard to forget.
Hello, my friends, it's FPS Russia again.
Kyle filmed himself testing real guns and explosives. These weren't just any weapons. They were sophisticated and powerful. To make it more entertaining, he played a character named Dmitry. Since Dmitry was supposed to be Russian, Kyle used a Russian accent in every video.
So I had a lot of fun today showing you guys the 3 different weapon classes.
It was dangerous, but that was part of the appeal. By 2012, FPS Russia was one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube. Kyle was the face of the channel, but there was someone else behind the scenes making it all possible, and that man was about to lose his life. Keith Ratliff was Kyle's business partner. More importantly, he was the guy who got the weapons for the YouTube videos. Keith was able to get the weapons because he had a federal firearms license. Without him, the channel couldn't have used that kind of gear, because those powerful weapons were illegal for private purchase in the US without that special license. Keith also owned a gun store and sometimes helped plan the videos. Then one day, he was gone. In January 2013, Keith Ratcliffe was found lifeless in his office.
I'm good, Serena.
They observed what they believe a white male had a wound, and he was inside his office. And at this time, it is still an ongoing case.
There were no signs of forced entry. Also, the office was filled with guns, but Keith didn't use any to defend himself. Considering this, police believe the person who took Keith's life was someone he trusted. He probably let them in himself, not knowing what was coming. The mystery led to a flood of conspiracy theories. Some in the comments section even pointed fingers at Kyle, even though there was no proof. The case was never solved, but once Keith was gone, FPS Russia started to fall apart. About a month after the incident, Kyle returned to YouTube.
And we're back in action. So as many of you know, we lost a member of the team about a month ago, but I felt like it was time to get back into the swing of things.
Kyle tried to keep the channel going, but things were about to get bumpy. About a month after the channel resumed, federal agents raided Kyle's home where he filmed his YouTube videos. They suspected he was using explosives without the right paperwork. Kyle was never charged, but the message was clear. The authorities were watching him. After that, Kyle took a 9-month break from the channel. When he returned, the momentum was gone. Old fans drifted away, and YouTube's new rules made it harder to monetize this kind of content. In April 2016, Kyle released what would be his final video. He was reviewing flamethrowers. After that, Kyle disappeared from YouTube. But a year later, he made headlines again, and not for a good reason. Kyle was arrested on substance-related charges. He was facing 25 years in jail, but he took a plea deal. In 2019, he served 2 months behind bars and paid a $7,500 fine. But for him, the real punishment came after. As a convicted felon, Kyle could no longer legally own firearms in the US. And since FPS Russia was all about firearms, that meant he couldn't make any more videos. FPS Russia still exists with more than 6 million subscribers and over 100 videos. But nothing new has come out in years. The cops never found out who took Keith's life, but many fans believe that if Keith were still alive, the channel would be too. In this next
Is it still inactive?
Hello, my friends. It's FPS Russia again.
Yeah, he's gone. 9 years ago. Dang.
next case, a YouTuber was playing with danger so much that it finally caught up with him. Elliot Eastman.
The Chevy Silverado EV and 478 miles of range.
Man, I don't care about no cars.
In 2023, Elliot Eastman left Vermont and moved to the Philippines. Then he started a YouTube channel to document his life as an American living abroad. He looked happy, but he didn't realize his videos were putting him at risk. The first problem was where he was filming his videos. During his travels in the Philippines, Elliot ended up in a coastal town called Cebuco. That's where he filmed most of his YouTube videos. But although Cebuco looked peaceful, it was actually dangerous. Cebuco was deep in what travelers call the red zone. It was a high-risk area in the southern Philippines known for kidnappings and armed attacks. In the past 10 years, about 40 Westerners have been kidnapped from the red zone. The US government repeatedly warned Americans not to go there, but Elliot ignored that warning. He didn't just live in Cebuco, he married a local woman. Elliot filmed himself doing everyday stuff, like swimming in the ocean and cooking.
I'm just cooking sweet dinner. Added some salt and pepper. Tomorrow we're gonna go swimming. It's definitely different here. See this little crack in the wall here?
Because the red zone was so dangerous, Elliot was the first foreigner to live there in a long time. Just being there made him a target, but what Elliot did next made things worse. On YouTube, Elliot asked viewers to send him PayPal donations to support his lifestyle. But that wasn't all. He also started a money lending business. He lent money to locals and they paid him back with 20% interest. But Elliot didn't keep it private. He talked about the profits he was making right on YouTube.
The guy we lent money to, he returned our money. When we lent him $21,400 and he came back with $23,500, so a little extra.
People in Cebuco were watching. They saw how much he was making, and that's when the warnings began. Locals began warning Elliot's family. They said people were planning to kidnap him.
People coming here to tell my family that there's people that want to kidnap me, or they're threatening to kidnap me, or stuff like that, like every day.
Then his store got robbed. Elliot started to sound nervous during live streams.
But I feel like I've been staying in this area for so long to the point where people, I don't even know if people like me anymore. Maybe they want bad things to happen to me now.
Even his wife was scared. She refused to go anywhere with him unless other people were there. Something was clearly wrong. In mid-2024, Elliot flew back to the US for work, but he couldn't stay away. He returned to Cebuco to to visit his wife. That choice would be his last. On October 17th, Elliot went live in a video from Cebuco. It sounded like he wanted to move out of Cebuco permanently. Maybe some criminals were watching his live streams, because a few hours later, 4 men in fake police uniforms stormed his house. They were armed. Elliot tried to fight them off. Shots were fired. He was injured. They kidnapped Elliot and dragged him to a speedboat and sped off. Elliot's wife saw the whole thing happen. She called the police immediately, and somehow they tracked down the kidnappers. But Elliot wasn't with them. One kidnapper later explained what happened. He said Elliot was hurt during the kidnapping, and he passed away on the speedboat. Since they couldn't demand ransom anymore, they dumped his body in the ocean. The police searched the coastline, but Elliot's body was never recovered. Elliot found love and adventure in the Philippines, but in the end it cost him his life. Rest in peace. This next YouTuber was an inspiration to millions of young people until it ended in tragedy. Grant Thompson. Grant Thompson was so popular that just one of his videos got over 48 million views. His channel was called The King of Random. Grant made videos about hacks and mad science experiments.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the lab. Today we're trying another one of those experiments you really shouldn't try at home.
One of his biggest hits was a tutorial on how to make gummy candy.
For this video, I'm going to show you how to take a few simple ingredients and make mountains and mountains of your own custom gummy candies at home.
Grant made science look like magic, and viewers loved it. He amassed 11 million subscribers and 2.5 billion views. But all that success came at a cost. By early 2017, Grant was exhausted. He was working 12 to 18 hours a day. He flew planes as an airline pilot by day, then came home to film videos at night. His health began to suffer.
There was a period of about a year and a half where I was working so hard on making videos, and there was like a crushing weight on my chest, so heavy.
Long hours at the computer caused terrible back pain, but he didn't stop filming.
You didn't even know that, though. I kept putting out videos every single week, and I was in excruciating pain.
Then, in late 2018, Grant made a bold decision. He started posting videos daily.
Or he tried posting daily videos. Right. And that pushed us to the max, because we were literally all day and all night and up till 4 in the morning working on videos to post every day.
Yeah. Grant was running on fumes. He hired a team to help, but it was still a ton of work. Then Grant found something that helped him unwind from the pressure. In early 2019, Grant discovered paragliding. He called it his new obsession. Paragliding takes years to master, but Grant had just 5 months of experience. On July 29th, 2019, he went paragliding alone in Washington County, Utah. He took off in the evening, but he never came back. His worried family called the police.
The Washington County Sheriff's Office in Utah received an urgent call regarding an overdue paraglider who had gone off the radar near Sand Hollow State Park. The caller told officials that the paraglider should have landed an hour earlier and that he was unable to be reached on his cell phone.
Search teams tracked his phone. By morning, they found his body in the park. He crashed. Next to him was the camera he used to record the flight. The footage showed everything. The weather suddenly changed. A strong wind pulled him down. His main parachute collapsed. Grant tried to open his backup parachute, but there wasn't enough time. It was heartbreaking. One of YouTube's best teachers was gone. He was only 38. The King of Random channel is still going strong. Grant's team kept it alive, making exciting science videos. Grant Thompson may be gone, but his legacy lives on. Some of these creators were in the wrong place at the wrong time, but others chased content into dangerous places. In an attempt to go viral, they lost much more than fame. My friends, I'll leave you with this. Views are never worth your life. Visual Venture.
I actually want to look at that other channel that we just watched. I'm actually kind of curious. I am curious. Yeah, they still upload. They still upload. We did 2 yesterday. We'll probably do 2 again today. Or It's 30 minutes in already, so I do one more for tonight. Let's do this one. Looks interesting.
Why didn't anyone stop this? Did the host go to jail?
For looking back at old scenes and saying, Dan Schneider is obsessed with feet. This feels inappropriate for children.
When TV shows market themselves as appropriate for kids, you would expect fun, bubbly characters with colors flying across the screen. But for some kids networks, that isn't the case. Instead of parents feeling a sense of relief, they now have to worry about what their children are watching behind their backs, because the true horrors that hide behind the For Kids label can be haunting. I'm Visual Venture, and we're diving into the dark world of kids TV shows, starting from the most appropriate shows to the most disgusting ones. I'm not gonna lie, the last ones terrified me. Cow and Chicken. First released in July of 1997.
Cow and Chicken. Okay, we're gonna do a in-depth Go away, news. Go away. Go away. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna do an in-depth dive of all of the. Oh. What? What? What am I looking at? I don't know what I'm looking at. Cartoon Network has some explaining to do.
Cow and Chicken was a beloved animated comedy series on Cartoon Network. The show followed an unlikely sibling duo of Cow and Chicken as they went on a series of wild adventures. The series became a fan favorite for its out-of-pocket humor, but most of these praises came from adult watchers instead of actual kids, since many of the jokes were clearly targeted at a much older audience. When it came to kids, Cow and Chicken wasn't exactly the best show to watch. Many of the show's main punchlines tied back to inappropriate undertones, particularly referring to butts. Although using butts as the butt of the joke is a common thing in cartoons, Cow and Chicken takes it to a whole nother level by making it an actual plot point in some episodes. Cow in particular is always seen showing her behind to the screen, and the character is only supposed to be 7 years old. Chicken, her older brother, is only 11.
We just got on this video. Are you serious?
But while this can be
7 years old. It's crazy.
Argued as just part of cartoon culture, there's also other red flags about the show that parents have pointed out, or more like a red character. The show's main antagonist is a character named Red Guy, who's the mayor of the fictional town that Cow and Chicken live in. This character is constantly trying to get in the way of Cow and Chicken's plans. Red
Like
Guy
the kid
never
show's
wears-
version of the devil. He's got horns. Is that I think that's what this is, probably. Like a kid show version of the devil? Or Satan?
Loads, and like Cow, he always has his behind exposed. Red Guy was first introduced to the audience in the pilot episode No Smoking as the main antagonist, and is very clearly portrayed as the devil. In this episode, he's shown as the ruler of hell, and he is actively trying to recruit Chicken to join him. In order to bring someone to hell, Red Guy has to convince them to make a bad choice. So he decided to tempt Chicken into taking a cigarette and smoking it, which landed him in hell for smoking at a young age. While there, Red Guy continues to force Chicken to smoke even more cigarettes to the point of suffering. Almost immediately after airing, this episode was banned from television networks for being too inappropriate for kids.
It was aired? This is a children's show. Hold on. It got awards too? Dude, hold on. PG. PG. This is the least disturbing. Do we dare watch the trailer? Do we watch, or the theme song for it? Should we watch this? Just for the heck of it? Should we just pop this on?
There's a Harbor Freight
Hold
store in your
on.
neighborhood.
I want to watch
Stop
this.
by, neighbor.
I want to see this. How bad is this?
Mama had a cow. Dad was proud. He didn't care how. Cow. Chicken. Cow and chicken.
Okay. I don't know what I just watched. How old is this show, actually? Did it say a year? I didn't see a year. 1997 to 1999. There you have it. It lasted 2 years. That's crazy. It lasted 2 years. That's kind of crazy.
Kids. And although the showrunners intended to scare kids away from smoking, parents argued that children may take the episode at face value.
It is so
And
bad.
the implications of hell and the red guy being who he is, parents were also concerned about the portrayals of religious figures in
Yeah.
the series. After such a controversial first episode, Cow and Chicken completely shifted their direction and even rebranded the devil to just Red Guy. But even after such drastic changes to the show's main premise, parents were still concerned over the content of the show. Although Red Guy's name was changed, his appearance remained entirely the same, and his behavior was also not something that kids should be seeing. Throughout the series, Red Guy and Cow and Chicken end up slowly going from enemies to friends. However, this comes at a price, because Red Guy ends up getting overly friendly, constantly being intimate but aggressive with the two main characters, who, as I mentioned, are meant to be 7 and 11 in animal form. He always has a specific interest in Cow, who is a female character.
Oh, sweetheart, you have got it going on. Oh, you are high styling, babe. Those come here sailor eyes, that kiss and tell. Oh, gotcha! Help! Help! Big brother, help! What if somebody did this?
At one point, there was an episode where Red Guy pretended to be a doctor named Dr. Bottoms. And when Cow goes in for a doctor's visit, he ends up doing a checkup for other parts, ones without any medical issues.
Milk sample!
No.
Dr. Bottoms, what's that for? Well, I'm thirsty, and your daughter's a cow. Do the math!
The real controversy came when Cartoon Network aired a cow and chicken episode called Buffalo Girls. This episode was immediately banned after
Immediately? How is this show even already a thing?
airing because it featured a ton of inappropriate jokes poking fun at the Buffalo characters, a group of characters based on lesbian stereotype. If adult humor was a crime, then Cow and Chicken would just be beginners. The next show we talk about takes things to an entirely new level: Rocko's Modern Life. There are a few kids shows that compare to the amount of innuendos that Rocko's Modern Life has. This American animated series follows the lives of an Australian wallaby named Rocko and his group of eccentric friends. The show first aired on Nickelodeon on September 18th, 1993 and ran for 3 years until November 1996. Despite being a kids show, Rocko's has gained a cult following for its adult humor. In almost every episode, an inappropriate topic is being referenced, whether as a joke or right out in the open. Like this scene where Rocko is working at a risque phone hotline.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
So, not just what he's saying right here. Remember, be hot, be naughty, and be courteous.
Rocko. Mrs. Bighead?
For this one scene where Rocko and Heifer Wolf visit a no-tell motel together. And judging by the hotel clerk's words, there's clearly a picture that they're trying to paint here. Ones the kids should not be seeing.
Won't have room for another 20 minutes. You wait? Oh, we have premature departure. You can have room now. How long you want?
Just till tomorrow.
All night? Okay.
Pamela Pugh, scientist, education.
Kids ain't gonna understand half the jokes in this show.
And if you're still on the fence whether or not these are inappropriate, here's one scene you can't deny. Aside from the clear intimacy signs, Rocko's Modern Life also has more than just one-off scenes that are inappropriate for kids. There's one episode in the series where Rocko has to go visit the doctor's office for a cough. In this episode, there were multiple moments with creepy implications. For starters, the name of the doctor is Dr. Bendova, which, if you couldn't tell already, is a play on words. The doctor examines Rocko's ear to find a naked statue inside of it, and to help cure him, Dr. Bendova prescribes a medication that ends up making Rocko feel more ill, hallucinating even.
Generally bad that I'm scared that this stream is gonna get taken down after stream and is gonna get age restricted for this. Like, I feel like stream might get age restricted for this.
The shocker, though, is that the audience soon finds out that Dr. Bendova wasn't even a real doctor at all. He was revealed to be a mental patient, meaning that Rocko essentially took unprescribed medication. While Rocko's Modern Life may be riddled with these types of messages, this next show is just straight up graphic. Before we talk about this insane show, I want to thank this video sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is intelligent. One of the flaw you, a killer of you military players that's for card the most pop. The Ren and Stimpy show is a household name. Years ago, when it was still running, it was one of the most popular titles when it came to children's entertainment. But as the kids grew up into adults, they soon
Say this right now, I actually haven't seen any of these shows. I haven't seen Cow and Chicken, I haven't seen Rocko's Modern Life, or Ren and Stimpy. I haven't seen any of them. Just never really piqued my interest.
began to realize that their beloved kids cartoon is actually a lot more messed up than they thought. The Ren and Stimpy show first aired in August of 1991 on Nickelodeon and featured two emotionally unstable characters, Ren and Stimpy, who embarked on a series of unpredictable adventures together, all while battling their behavioral issues.
You could put the link in the bio for people to watch after if you want. I should do that. Actually, Can I do that now? I might be able to do that now. Maybe. Yeah, I'll do it after. Oh, wait. There. At least I'll get this one. And I'm actually going to change this. And put Visual Adventure in it also. There. Okay. Okay. It's in the. It should be in the description now.
Encounter terrifying scenarios like this one scene where a jester uses a cheese grater on his own arm and then adds literal salt to the wound.
What? That's like a Terrifier reference. If you've seen the movie Terrifier, you know what I'm talking about. But
is just the tip of the iceberg. Not only are some episodes highly graphic, but there are also jump scares throughout the series. The main characters are also absolutely deranged, as seen through their behavior in the show. And some of the actions they do are so disturbing that people have said it still bothers them to this day, years after. The most notable example of this is a scene where Ren takes pliers and pulls out all of his teeth, including the nerve endings attached to them. Even as an adult, watching back the scene is still unnerving, pun intended. It seems like time and time again, the characters on the show seem to put themselves in situations that end up getting them hurt. Naturally, the Ren and Stimpy show also provided their intimate content to children. Some fans of the show have defended it, saying that it was never meant to be a kids show. But regardless of whether it was meant to be for kids or not, many children did end up watching it. But while Ren and Stimpy seem to rain havoc on themselves...
You can't say that, because anything I feel like that goes on Nickelodeon is gonna be, marked as for kids, because it's Nickelodeon.
Other animated characters act out by doing unspeakable things to others. Invader Zim.
Oh.
Invader Zim is considered one of the most controversial sci-fi kids cartoons ever released, despite winning multiple awards. Its pilot episode premiered on Nickelodeon.
How many shows of this are Nickelodeon? I feel like I need to look these up. How many of these are Nickelodeon? Why set FV? I don't even know what FV means. Oh. Oh. Ooh. It got to some episodes were TV-14. There's a language in it? Oh. Dang.
On March 1st, 2001, and the show ran for only 2 seasons before being cancelled by the network. This is a show that I personally used to watch. The show follows an extraterrestrial by the name of Zim, who has made his way to Earth with every plan to conquer it and take over the human race. Considering the plot, it's obvious that Zim does not consider human beings to be on his level. But his true feelings about the human race are much more disturbing, and you can tell by his actions throughout.
Don't raise dragons right off the bat. For new players, at the start of the game, don't rush to raise dragons. You might get a powerful
the show. On April 20th, 2001, just 4 episodes in, Invader Zim labeled itself as one of the creepiest kids shows to ever air on TV after releasing the infamous episode called Dark Harvest. In the second segment of the episode, Zim gets a case of head pigeons, which is a disease that causes pigeons to nest on your head. To get treated for the disease, he needs to visit the nurse. But Zim knows that if she does any tests on him, she'll find out that he's not human, but an alien. So to hide his true true identity, Zim goes around the school in search of human organs to replace his own. But these organs aren't just lying around. He has to extract them from the kids at school. Zim goes around taking organs and replacing them with everyday objects like hall passes or school supplies. And in an attempt to replace them, he would eat them so that they would be found in his stomach.
You've gone too far! You're a hideous blob of stolen organs!
I've been working out.
In another episode called Bestest Friend, Zim quite literally takes a machine and uses it to pluck out the eyes of another student so that he can replace them with mechanical ones. The show also uses real-world incidents as plot lines, like in an episode called Plague of the Babies, where a bunch of baby-like beings were being mass abducted. So far, we focused on cartoons, but with live-action shows, real kids are the ones suffering the consequences. Live-action Nickelodeon shows. While we've covered quite a few Nickelodeon shows on this list...
Wait. Happy Tree Friends. He didn't cover that here. Was that taken off of this? Ooh. Ooh, he removed some of it. He removed some of it. Ooh. I've seen Happy Tree Friends.
So far, the most inappropriate productions on the network are ones featuring real people.
Yeah.
Not only is the creepy content being acted out live by actual kids, but other things also happen to be off camera. As you might have already heard, Nickelodeon has caught a ton of heat for its associations with the producer Dan Schneider. Although Dan has been the mastermind of popular Nickelodeon shows like Victorious, iCarly, and The Amanda Show, what he's best known for is not his work, but rather what he did to the actors that were part of these projects. From the hidden messages to making actors uncomfortable with inappropriate scenes, all of Dan's shows have been ripped apart for their questionable plot lines. And this history runs deep because Dan's been a walking red flag ever since his first executive producer credit, The Amanda Show. The Amanda Show was a popular sketch comedy show that first premiered on Nickelodeon on October 16th, 1999. The show came out following the widespread success of the sketch comedy show All That. All That kickstarted Amanda Bynes' career in Hollywood, and Nickelodeon knew that they had to capitalize on that. A couple years later, they gave Dan the...
So I have seen Victorious and iCarly. I haven't seen The Amanda Show. And knowing that he's behind it, I don't want to. Especially knowing how Amanda Bynes actually ended up turning out. I don't want to watch it.
green light to create the spin-off The Amanda Show, which cemented Dan Schneider as a known kid show producer and paved the road to stardom for Amanda. However, despite the lighthearted nature of this show, it was actually extremely disturbing. After careful analysis of Dan's behavior with the main cast, many people have pinpointed The Amanda Show as the reason for Amanda Bynes' real-world tragedies. In The Amanda Show, Amanda Bynes and a cast featuring the likes of Drake Bell, Nancy Sullivan, and Ashley Tisdale perform comedy sketches to a live audience. They take on a variety of different roles in these sketches, from one-off characters to recurring personalities. But although the goal of the sketches was to make kids laugh, many of them were actually highly inappropriate. Dan had executive power over any and every sketch that was featured on the show, and more times than not, he would make his young cast film a sketch that was not suitable for their age. One of the most well-known incidents was the jacuzzi sketch. During the sketch, Amanda Bynes was wearing a swimsuit and sitting in a jacuzzi next to a fully clothed Dan Schneider, all while Dan cracks a joke at the audience, telling them that he wrote this very scene.
Now, you're the executive producer of the show?
Yeah, I am the executive producer and I'm the head writer.
You actually wrote the words you're saying to them right now?
Yes, I actually wrote this whole conversation that we're having right now.
At the time, most people didn't even think twice about this scene, but now, looking back, it was a sign that Dan had other motivations. Dan purposely reminded the audience that he had full control over the show, meaning that he could make the actors do anything he wanted and they could not refuse. And all of these questionable sketches became more disturbing after learning that convicted criminals were actually on the set of the show. These staff members were given roles that put them near the cast. One of the cast members, Brandy, revealed that a staff member sent her a disgusting picture via email, which she ended
Roku's self-serve ads platform. It's easier than ever with Ads Manager. Sign up today.
Honestly, no one wants to think about HIV, but there are things that
Don't
everyone
make
can do
me.
to help prevent it.
ended up reporting to the police. Brandy was also immediately pulled from the show. Another suspicious plotline in The Amanda Show involved a recurring character that Amanda played called Penelope Taint. Recently, the Quiet on Set docuseries revealed that the last name Taint refers to a body part within the lower region. But hiding these themes in sketches was not a new thing for Dan. Ever since his time as a producer on the 90s comedy show All That, Dan's shown that he's no stranger to offensive jokes, ones at the expense of his own cast. Brian Christopher Herney was a child actor and part of the main cast for All That's 7th and 8th seasons. Despite being a main cast member, Brian rarely got sketches that appealed to him. In fact, he usually got the worst kinds. Brian revealed in the Quiet on Set documentary that he was often forced to play characters that portray black stereotypes. In one particular sketch, Brian was asked to play a kid who was selling cookies, but of course the producers asked him to play it like he was selling drugs. And possibly the most infamous allegation about Dan is that he's into feet, which has made itself known through all of his producer credits. In every show Dan has been a part of, he has placed scenes involving child actors showing their bare feet or even doing weirder things with them. In some of his most popular shows, Dan's had more than just a few scenes where the plot revolves around feet. For example, in season 1, episode 12 of Victorious, everyone at Hollywood Arts High School is obsessing over Trina's soft feet. There's a scene where she's standing in the hallway with her bare feet out while classmates form a circle around her to touch her feet. The episode then progresses with feet being a central plot line. Everyone is envious of Trina and her soft feet, so she shares her secret, puka fish, which eat at the dead skin of her feet. In this episode, multiple actors had their bare feet out, and this is just one of the many instances on Victorious where the stars
I've seen Victorious in full. I've seen the entire show multiple times. And I'm gonna be honest, watching this episode, the Puka Fish episode, I actually didn't even think about that, but after I did watch the documentary, yeah, it made a lot more sense, which is just sad.
have had to show their feet on camera. Not to mention that iCarly and Sam and Cat also had similar themes. But undoubtedly, the creepiest scene on Nickelodeon involving feet is this clip of Ariana Grande. This video recently resurfaced and went viral after the Quiet on Set documentary dropped because it's one of the biggest red flags that we failed to notice when Dan was a top dog in the industry. This video was produced for theslap.com, a website designed for fans of the show Victorious. It imitates the social media platform seen on the show. Cast members would upload short video diaries there to give the site an authentic feel to keep fans engaged. Ariana Grande was no exception, but unlike some of her other cast members, her videos always seemed to be the most disturbing because it seemed like she was being made to do things that could be interpreted in dirtier ways.
Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out.
Not only is it odd for kids to be watching Ariana shove her foot in her mouth, but the video is also filmed in a very specific way. There are multiple jump cuts of Ariana from different angles while making certain expressions. And this wasn't the only time that Ariana was forced to create content like this. And when you see the rest, you might even think that that video was nothing.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
That clip was actually posted on theslap.com, and it's pretty obvious what that potato was meant to symbolize. But there's more. Ariana's character, Kat, constantly posted these types of vlogs on theslap.com. While they didn't usually air on TV, there were thousands and thousands of kids visiting the site every day because they were huge fans of Victorious. But instead of seeing appropriate content, they were seeing content like Ariana trying to drink water upside down.
Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down?
And these are just a few of the countless examples, with Dan having been a part of almost all of the most popular kids shows from the last 20 to 30 years. It's almost impossible for a kid to have not seen some of his work. But while Dan may have pulled the strings behind the scenes, some are openly disturbing while the cameras are rolling, just like Mom. Just Like Mom was the go-to entertainment for kids and families in suburban Canada in the 1980s. This game show, hosted by Fergie Ulver, featured kids and their mothers as they tried to match each other's answers to a series of questions. The show aired on CTV from 1980 to 1985 with a total of 595 episodes. The first round of the show started with Fergie interviewing the kids, asking them questions about their mom and seeing just how much they knew about her. But things got concerning because Fergie would get a little too up close and personal with the contestants, and not just through the questions.
Can I have a hug and a kiss? I can't have one? Even if I say and whisper in your ear that Allison, you're gonna win the show?
Fergie would go as far as to straight up kiss contestants while they were answering questions, all without asking for permission from them or their parents. It even got to the point where Fergie openly
Wix
Hey,
gives you the power of AI to build the website you need.
admitted his desire to marry one of his contestants. Meanwhile, his wife was co-hosting the show and said nothing about it. Fergie did this to almost every contestant that went on his show. Their mothers were on set too, since they had to participate in the second round, but few could do anything with all the cameras on them. Unfortunately, Fergie had made this the new norm for Just Like Mom. No one in the audience, staff, or even his own wife seemed to question what he was doing, so nothing much was done. And the show kept running, although Fergie eventually stepped down. Fortunately, things changed dramatically after he was no longer the host, and it doesn't seem like any action was taken against him. But Fergie, my friends, is still far from the worst. That honor goes to Ron William Brown, the most revolting child show host ever. Joy Junction. Joy Junction was a Christian-themed game show featuring a ventriloquist named Ron Brown and his puppet Marty. The show had kid contestants participate in a series of challenges, do a wide variety of different religious activities, and learn lessons from the Bible. Joy Junction aired on TBN in the mid-1980s. But don't let the name fool you, because there was nothing joyful about the show. In fact, it was much more sinister than anyone could have ever imagined. At first glance, the only creepy thing about the show may have just been the creepy design of the puppet, but if you take a closer look at how Ron interacted with the kids, you might find it a little more unsettling. Ron would host weekly gatherings with the younger cast members at his trailer park home. These were his so-called pizza parties, and while this was already weird, no parent suspected that Ron, a religious host of a Christian game show, would be up to anything wrong.
How it all started was all of a sudden there was boys found at his house.
When Ron was caught, he was quick on his feet. He said that these clothes were actually for his puppet Marty, and since Ron was loved by many of the members of his Christian community, they took his word for it, assuming it was the truth. But that was their mistake. Over time, it started getting harder and harder to deny that Ron may not be the person that everyone thought he was. So his home was searched by the police, and they found incriminating evidence of exactly what Ron had planned to do with some of the cast members, and it involved cooking and eating them. Fortunately, they were able to lock him up before he could carry out any of those plans, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Let these shows be a reminder that things aren't always what they seem, and if you take a closer look, you might find that the truth is darker than you think. My friends, protect the young ones in your life, and always question what lies beneath the surface. Visual Venture.
If I want to find the other video to put it in the description real fast, so just give me a sec. Was it this one? Yeah.
I need help fixing my sink.
Okay, let me find a tutorial for you. Do you have a pipe wrench?
Is this it?
Maybe I should schedule a plumber on Thumbtack.
Good call. You the man.
Get in. Who are you? Don't worry, I'm.
Dude, why did I have to sit through that many ads? just to get the freaking link for this video. Like, so I think that we're done for today. But we will be back tomorrow and we'll watch more. If you guys haven't yet, I did do one of these streams yesterday. And I reacted to more Visual Venture, which I'm gonna go back and also put the link to the videos that we watched in that one at the end of this. Or after this. But that is gonna do it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and stopping in and just having a fun time. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys